Welcome to From Our Home to Yours, a cooking channel where professionals from Cooperative Extension show you how to cook delicious, health-promoting recipes that they love. Hi, I'm Carlin Raffi, Extension Specialist with Virginia Cooperative Extension. This year we've been making some videos of some of our favorite holiday recipes. Well, the holidays wouldn't be the same, particularly Thanksgiving, without pumpkin pie. You've probably made pumpkin pie in your own home at this time of year. Well, it's a favorite in our home, and usually I make it with canned pumpkin. But this year I'm going to do something different. We grew pumpkins on our farm last year, and I took some of those pumpkins, baked them, and then froze the baked pumpkin. So I'm going to use homegrown pumpkin this year to make our pumpkin pie. So let's see how it turns out. I'm going to start by making the pie crust. Making pie crust is a bit of an art, and there are some great videos out there to show you how. I'll show you a basic pie crust that I make. For 2 single crust pies, I use 2½ cups flour, 1 teaspoon salt, and 2 tablespoons sugar. Mix these together. All pie crusts need a form of fat. The fat is what gives the crust that flaky texture. Many recipes use a combination of shortening and margarine or butter. I like to use butter in my crust because it adds a nice flavor. This recipe calls for a cup of butter that would be cold and chopped into small pieces. This is then cut into the flour. I cut in half of the butter at a time until the flour is in pea-sized chunks. There are some neat tools to help cut the butter into the flour easily, but I use a fork in my hands to get the job done. Cold water is added to the flour and butter mixture to get it to come together. The amount of water needed will vary, but it's between 1/4 and 1/3 of a cup for this recipe. Add the water a couple of tablespoons at a time, just until the dough comes together, using a forks to mix it in. Don't add too much water or overmix. When it begins to stick together, gather the flour into 2 balls, pressing the flour together gently with your hands. Wrap the balls in saran wrap and put them in the refrigerator for 20 to 30 minutes. To roll the dough, I place a piece of wax paper on the counter and sprinkle it with flour. Unwrap the chilled dough and form it into a flattened disc. Flour it on both sides. Using a rolling pin, start in the middle and roll the dough outwards. Turn the disc and continue to roll from the center out. Continue to roll until the dough is 1 to 2 inches larger than the size of your pie pan. Now, using the wax paper, fold the dough in half and place the dough halfway into the pan. Unfold the dough to fill the pie pan. There are many ways to flute the edge of the pie crust. I used a fork to make a decorative edge on this one. I'm going to pre-cook the pie crust before adding the pumpkin filling. So that it will not puff up while cooking, I will place parchment paper over the dough and fill the pan with dried beans. This cooks at 425 degrees Fahrenheit until brown. While the crust is cooking, I prepare the pie filling. This recipe will make 2 pies and takes 30 ounces of my baked pumpkin. A 1.5 cups of sugar.
I like to use brown sugar for my pie, so I add 3/4 cup white sugar and 3/4 cup brown sugar. The spices are what give pumpkin pie its special flavor. This recipe takes 1 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon cloves, a 1/2 teaspoon ground ginger, and 2 teaspoons cinnamon. Mix the sugar and spices into the pumpkin thoroughly. Now add 2 12-ounce cans of carnation evaporated milk. If you use low-fat evaporated milk, you will reduce the fat in the recipe. This recipe calls for 4 eggs. To reduce the cholesterol in the recipe, you can add 2 whole eggs and 2 egg whites without affecting the quality of the pie. Ladle the pie filling into the cooked crusts. Place the pies in the oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. Then reduce the heat to 350 degrees and cook until a knife placed in the middle of the filling comes out clean.
Well, it came out great. Smells delicious. We hope you all have a wonderful holiday season from our home to yours.